around my house. So, you know, that might be weird to some people, but I love to show that part off. And actually, those hands are mostly constructed out of Friskies boxes. So thank you to my cats for eating all that Friskies.
So kind of what are some other ways you can save money? Clearly, we're all about the budget here. Number one, if you aren't using coupons, you're probably actually paying more than what the real price is because they plan on you using coupons, especially at like Joann's or Kohl's. But you're giving away money. Mm-hmm. Who does that? If you have money to give away, hi, I'll take it from you. Patterns. This was a fun afternoon project that we did. I let Nicole wrap me up for maximum freshness in saran wrap. And then she duct taped me like she was wrapping up a dead body.
Mm-hmm. Yep, done that a few times. Know the deal.
But if that's a really good way to make patterns that it's going to be custom fit to you because it's literally your body. Highly recommend doing it with a friend, though, that you trust.
I have done it on my own, but it was not easy.
Yeah, it's
a lot. Like you have to be real flexible, and it's.
She's literally a contortionist, so
yeah,
if she's saying that that's going to be hard, believe her.
And you get sweaty because you're wrapping yourself in plastic, so the less moving around for you, the better.
So, and also safety scissors.
Yes.
Maker spaces and libraries. It's becoming a lot more prevalent that you have maker spaces are popping up in certain areas. I will be honest, I'm not familiar with kind of what is around here. I live in Connecticut. I know there's one in Hartford. I have heard of kind of libraries that they'll have like 3D printers or things that you can you rent or borrow. Even like certain hardware stores and things, you can a lot of times you can rent certain equipment, and if you back to networking, if you make friends, they may have those things like a big spinny saw to cut PVC. I don't even know what it's called, but a miter saw is what it's called. We just learned a word. Wigs. As I said, I buy a lot of wigs on Amazon. This is an Amazon purchase. My wig that I use for both my Arya and Daenerys, for my current iteration of Ariel, are all from Amazon. All lace fronts from Amazon. A couple brands or sellers that I do try to always check first are Chrisma and I'm Style. I don't know. I don't name it. But again, you want to kind of like check those photos and kind of see what what the wig has looked like on people once they have gotten it and taken it out of the bag. ColourPop Cosmetics, very inexpensive. I believe they are cruelty-free. You can get a ton of makeup for not a lot of money. Good big palettes for like $30, and it's going to be good quality stuff, which is with makeup, you do want to make sure that you kind of are not just like picking something up at the Dollar Tree, because also who knows what's in that.
CVS is pretty good though if you're looking for something like inexpensive, but like not
again,
just gonna slaughter it off
sales.
the face.
And there's tons and tons of like tutorials and things online that will kind of give you a rating of what kind of some of these different products or different brands to help you. What is worth the splurge? The most important thing in cosplay, other than fun,
Winning. Safety.
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 Scissors or knives, you want to make sure that those tools are staying sharp. It's counterintuitive, but a sharper knife is going to cut more smoothly, like if you're cutting foam, and not like kind of skip or jump. And therefore, you're probably less likely to cut yourself. It's also going to be easier to work with, and kind of, with your scissors or things, you're cutting fabric. If you have dull, sharp things, what's the point of having sharp things? Respirator masks, if you are, again, especially working with like things like foam or contact cements, certain paints or glues. I think it was like a $20 investment when I first bought it at Home Depot. They may have gone up a little bit since then, but that's going to do more than your average like COVID mask to, like I was just the other day, like I was like dremeling foam, and if you saw my hands, they like looked like I'd been like working in a coal mine, like I was like Zoolander with the black lung. You don't want that in your mouth. You don't want it in your eyes. Just be, make sure you're using the right safety equipment. Also with contact lenses, don't go for the cheapest thing you can find. There's a lot of, I know I personally use, impartial to Uniqso for contact lenses. Also though, make sure you are consulting with an eye doctor to make sure that contact lenses are right for you, because you only get 2 eyes. Did you know that?
I knew that, but now I'm more certain because you said it.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah, you see, you weren't sure.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I didn't think, but.
But in general, you'd want to make sure that you're kind of, my like slogan is work smarter, not harder. Your time is valuable. Even if you have tons of time to finish your cosplay, you probably have other things that you want to do, like hang out with your friends or, go out to do things or sleep. I like that third one. If you kind of prioritize things and plan, and you can probably work a little bit smarter, and you kind of you make sure you're focusing on the details in the project that are going to be most important to you. So if the prop is kind of your big thing and that's what's going to be most important, then kind of get that done first, or you kind of put a little bit more time into that. There's also a lot of tools that you can get that maybe a little bit of an investment, but they're going to overall help you work better in the long run. I know when she was making the Graves gun.
Oh, that hot knife.
Oh, hot foam knife.
And that's not even expensive, right?
Yeah,
that's
you can get those, I think,
10,
like
$15.
Yeah, like $15 on Amazon. If certain types of foam. I have learned not good with floral foam. Like the EVA, like floor mat foam, craft foam, it won't work, but stuff like insulation foam, styrofoam, that will to some extent melt like butter.
Yeah, and I think if you've got the right tool, it goes back to the safety thing too, because like especially when you're cutting stuff, if you're like struggling to make a cut, you're also kind of putting yourself in a dangerous situation, and it's taking you a long time. Oh, don't touch the mic.
Electric scissors.
Oh yeah, those are.
My mother has gotten now some of the rest of the group into the concept of electric scissors. I know the friend that I made the Lux staff for was doing Pajama Guardian. That's a lot of polar fleece, y'all. It's a lot. And try doing this a lot. Electric scissors. Zzz. I believe the quote was, "This is cheating."
No, I mean, that's like a great accessibility tool if you have arthritis, if you have any
Carpal
sort of
tunnel.
yeah. But I mean, even if you don't, like, save your body the hassle. I mean, doing all of these repetitive motions does take a toll on any kind of body and a shape that it's in. So, yeah, take care of yourself. And if there's a cheap, easy way to make yourself work smarter, not harder, go for it.
Yeah, also, I know one of the things that we were talking through was and we did learn there's about an infinite number of names for this product, like a grommet punch tool.
Oh, yes.
Making holes in, I don't know, leather, foam, I don't know what else you might do.
Any kind of fabric, any kind of foam. I punch holes in anything.
Any kind of hole.
Anytime you're trying to attach two pieces and it's not just a simple matter of sewing, I just punch holes and figure it out from there. You can even feed something through there.
Also, a fun trick that I learned when I was making my Timo hat, though, is if you take one of the stainless steel drinking straws that are popular now, just heat it up with your heat gun a little bit, and it just goes right through the foam.
That's crazy.
It was wild. I tested it. It was great. But in the long run, some items up front may be a little bit more of an investment. If you're working with foam, you're going to need a good knife. You're going to need a heat gun, certain things. But if you make that investment up front, in a little bit of something nicer, you're going to likely use that in other projects in the long run. And certain things don't really have a shelf life. So it's still going to be there for you the next time, and that'll be less cost into the next project.
Oh, the one tool, this is kind of a tangent, but I got burned on this. Not literally burned, just, metaphorically. The heat gun, do not go for the cheapest heat gun because it'll last you one use. And I was so foolish thinking, I'm going to use this once. I use it all the time. So mid-tier is not that much more expensive, and it won't die immediately and end up in a landfill. So sad.
Resources. Oh, my animation did something funky. Yay, you found the first one.
You're a resource.
You're here. I know there were a few other excellent cosplay panels this weekend.
Some of those
panelists are here if you didn't catch them before. So, but books are cool. Reading is your friend. There's a lot of instructional books that I've found. These are just a few that you have gotten some good ideas from, or even just. I have a couple different Disney, Star Wars, Game of Thrones, costuming art books that, some of them you get so intricately detailed, but it's, even if that's not necessarily the costume that you're making, it can be a good resource to kind of give you kind of ideas as far as design or construction. Social media, YouTube, those are just a few different YouTubers that I've had really good luck with some of their tutorials. Facebook or Instagram, Kinpatsu Cosplay, I've had a lot of really good experience with seeing how she does some of her construction and progress stuff. Beverly Downen of Downen Creative Studios, also excellent. And I think she's actually done a series, if you do have a Cricut, of ways that you could kind of use that to kind of cut foam and do things, with the Cricut to save yourself some work. And she, I think, actually is also putting a book coming later this year. Facebook groups, again, just a few that I personally follow. This mask is driving me nuts. That I have cosplay help and advice, obviously a little bit more general, kind of, across the board. She Prop community is female and LGBT individuals, but there's a lot of both Beverly Downen and Kinpatsu Cosplay I know are both in that group and are very active in that group. I'm sure I know that there's a lot of other very, very talented cosplayers in that group that are active, and do you kind of help and give you advice and it's helpful to have that hive mind a little bit. Last one is again, if you're getting into foam, is Evil Ted's Foam Fanatics. We've finally moved on that it's not just a group full of people making Mandalorian helmets. I know, but there was a phase where that was like everybody was making them. But tons and tons of, again, very talented foam smiths that will give you a lot of helpful advice, and you kind of share their brain cells with you.
Yeah, I think I just want to add to this. The first thing that I do when I decide, like, this is the cosplay I'm going to do, I look up and Google that character, cosplay, images, and look at all the brilliant things people have come up with, because even if you have like an initial idea in your head about the best way to do something, someone out there is always better, someone out there has always done it before. So it's great to be able to kind of take the best bits and pieces, from everyone. And, if you can find that person and like ask them questions, it's such a welcoming community, and people are always really excited when you're excited about their cosplay. So, definitely reach out and ask questions to individuals, because they're going to be excited for the attention, honestly. So.
Yes, similarly, again, if you search whatever your character is, cosplay on Pinterest, lots of options there, or hashtag, Daenerys Targaryen cosplay on or whatever you're looking for on Instagram. You will find a lot of different ones there. But yeah, that is hopefully now. Who thinks they can cosplay?
Show of hands.
Yay! We did our job!
Excellent.
We want to thank you guys for joining us. Again, I am Sam of Sam Wynn Cosplay.
And
that's my Instagram.
And I'm Nicole of Maplesaur Cosplay. Also, Circus Rosen is my circusy stilty account, if you want to check that out. There is pole dancing on there, so if you're offended by that, you shouldn't be.
The QR code goes to my link tree, but all of her socials are added to that. If you want to come up and take a social media card from us, or you have any questions,
we do have some time.
We have a couple of mics.
The mic.
Yes.
Yeah. So if you have a question, you can head right up to the mic, and let's see.
We
got
like 7 minutes.
So,
but again, we're the last panel in the room, so maybe they won't kick us out if it's good questions.
I think I see a person at the mic.
Oh, gentlemen, is this a purple shirt?
We can't see anything.
Oh, it's pink. But.
Oh, okay. I wasn't way off.
Yeah, quick question. If I'm someone who hasn't really ever cosplayed before, besides like a Halloween costume I slapped together, do you find that certain types of costumes or certain techniques are the easiest to learn first? Like jumping to like foam is daunting to me, but is there a technique that's like a good first one to practice with?
Ooh, I think I have a good answer for this. So my suggestion would be to like play to your own skill set. So if you have any sort of creative outlet that suits you, you can kind of finagle that. Like maybe you're not a sewer, but like if you play an instrument and there's like a character that holds an instrument and you can incorporate that, like do something that like specifically suits you. Maybe you love to draw, and that doesn't necessarily translate to, sewing an outfit, but maybe there's like a character with really like graphic tattoos that you can paint on, or like, just kind of find the thing that suits you, and that's going to be your best starting point.
I'm a big fan of like we said, modifying things. If you can, add on to something rather than sewing from scratch. It's always kind of a good jumping off point, so you can kind of learn some of those skills on a smaller scale before jumping into a huge project.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
I think I see another person.
Oh, do we have? Oh, I think we have some.
We'll
kind of go back and forth. Far side of the room. I can't see you at all. You're in the sun.
Oh, is this on? I don't know if it's on or not. I think it's on.
We can hear you.
I can hear you.
Okay. So what do you do if like there's a lot of judgments and like, like people around you like think it's like weird that like you want to cosplay? Like I used to cosplay, but I'd have to spend all day in my bathroom because it was like the only room in my house that locked, so like no one would see that I did it, and then like I eventually just stopped doing it.
Oh my gosh, post it on the internet.
Yeah, post it on the internet.
I did, but then I had a TikTok for a while, and I got like a little bit big and stuff. I don't know, I was just so tired of it because I had to run back and forth to my room. Like I had a house I wanted to like make videos in, but I didn't want my parents to see. I was afraid my friends would see on my social media, so like I went through blocking them like off of my account and stuff. But then I just like gave up because I was like,
So, if your friends don't appreciate you for you, there's that.
But parents.
Yeah, do you?
I mean, it can be really hard, like the parents thing. Like I understand if you're sharing a house with them, sharing this space, like you have to keep yourself safe, like physically and emotionally. So like definitely put that first. If you feel like you can only do it in your bathroom and that's the safe place for you, maybe that's okay. Like just keep doing it in your bathroom and enjoying it for you. As you feel comfortable and confident to bring it out to other spaces, excellent. Like I think you'll find that, if things get big on the internet, not just in this space, but in any space, people will try to tear you down because that's the internet and there's anonymity. But the majority of the people in the cosplay community are really welcoming. And so, try to focus on the positive comments and the positive feedback and collaboration. But definitely, like, keep yourself safe. I totally understand that. And
as you meet other cosplayers too, you can kind of have more of that tribe where you have that common interest, and I don't know, then too maybe you make friends that you go to their house and you can do cosplay things, or I know our group, we tend to kind of like migrate and like, have different spots that we hang out to work on projects depending on what we're doing and who has the best space for that thing. So
I run in a lot of like freak circles these days, like the cosplay freaks and the circus freaks, and the contortion freaks.
Find your freaky.
And like the thing about these types of communities is like everyone's sort of like experienced to some degree and in some way like part of what you're describing of like not quite fitting in. People think this is weird, but it's like really special when you find that place that like, oh, like literally everyone in this room is the weirdo. So you're not weird here. You're just one of us.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. We love you.
Oh, thank you.
We'll come back to this side.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I can hear you.
Mainly for like a foamsmith question, what type of paints would you like suggest for like adding color? Because I really want to do like Monster Hunter cosplay, and that is a lot of colors and work.
So I know I personally will start with a base. Once you've plastodipped, primed, all of that, I'm a big fan of like spray paints for like large areas to start, and then you can kind of go in with acrylics for kind of smaller kind of details as you're weathering.
Yeah,
First.
same. I start with, even if you don't have like a big area of solid color, like I will start with a spray paint to get kind of like a base, even if it's just like a white or a black. Then acrylics for detail, as Sam said. I know like some people do, some people don't, but I always use an acrylic sealer just because it helps like to prevent some scuffing and scraping away. I've got a little bit of a painting background, so I seal everything. That feels important to me, but that's kind of a take it or leave it, as you please.
It is 3 o'clock. Are we?
You can go like 5 more minutes.
Okay. Then we'll bounce back over to the side that is in the sun.
I was just wondering what a good resource would be for someone who wants to commission a cosplay.
So commissioning, there are Facebook groups that you usually, you are specific for sourcing commissions. You can sometimes find things on Etsy. Occasionally, if you see, something on Instagram or wherever, your costume that you like, sometimes it is worth asking. Not all cosplayers will do commissions, but you may find somebody that says, yes, I would be willing to, or it is something they frequently do. I think it just kind of starts with kind of asking around, depending on the specific thing.
There is quite a bit on Etsy. The thing I will say about commissioning, specifically if it's something that's like fitted for your size and your proportions, or is kind of more complicated than just a small, medium, large. Keep timing in mind. Like if someone is making this by hand, you want to start shopping really early. You don't want it to be like a month before the con. I keep touching this mic. You don't want to be a month before the con ordering something and expecting like an artist to turn it around really quick. So if you give yourself time, shop on Etsy, the Facebook groups and all that, you're going to find someone that's willing to make the thing you want for sure.
Thank you.
Okay. Red hat, back on.
Okay, so 2 questions, if that's okay.
If they're short questions.
First, will there be a photo shoot where we have an opportunity to take pictures with you guys and the other panelists throughout the weekend?
So we will be outside, I guess, shortly after the panel is done for questions and photos. I can't speak for my colleagues, but...
Okay.
Some of them are up here. You might catch them on the way out too.
All right, we'll see. Have you ever been, the trope promoted fangirls where you had opportunities to do official cosplay for a piece of media?
I have not.
If you know someone, give them our contact.
Yeah, that is definitely, that is like a cosplayer, kind of goal for, personally, it's not something you necessarily kind of strive for.
I more want to make it. Like if they were like, make this and wear it, I'd be like, yeah, but normally it's more like someone makes it and someone else wears it. That's usually the arrangement.
Yeah, it varies, but...
Well, that satisfies me. Well, have a good day.
Thank you. Yes.
So I have a couple comments. I think I saw a couple of those pictures. I think I might have seen you two before at Rhode Island Comic Con.
Probably. Rhode Island is one of my big ones. So.
And also, what you said to that girl about her confidence and stuff, that is spot on. I've been cosplaying for 10 years.
Hell yeah.
I've had to dig deep a few times, and it's spot on, and you're exactly right. I actually do have a question. It is for Maplesaur. I always look up stuff like Mayron and stuff for paints and stuff. Is there any alternatives? And I've done Snazaroo before, but that just doesn't work.
Is that a brand?
For body paints?
Yeah, Snazaroo, they sell at Michael's and stuff. Like what would you use?
Honestly, I am on a budget cosplaying, so, and I'm not a big brand named person, so
Okay.
I don't even recognize the brands that you're talking about. So perhaps I'm not the best person for this question. But I just find something that's cheaper on sale. Like if you're looking for an acrylic paint, no, not all acrylics are created equal, but if you get some middle of the shelf
Well, I think
stuff. Is gonna be
maroon
okay.
is like a body
Oh,
paint.
body paint. I haven't done a lot of.
Yeah, I don't think either of us have really done a lot of
No,
body
I mean, we've
painting.
done like for like Jinx, we did like small details, and we honestly just used like the Halloween supply, like marker, crayon things. So nothing fancy at all. But in general, I say go mid-tier, and then if you get really into it, you can invest in like
Right, yeah.
a professional palette. But
If it's something that's like going on your body, I try not to go, too cheap.
Yeah.
One other option too is my Imogen that I did from Critical Role. So she has like magic energy, and I did like a temporary tattoo
on the
paper that I kind of printed it onto temporary tattoo paper and applied it. So that is also an option for some things.
Sam will use the Cricut for anything and everything.
Those actually weren't a
So
Cricut,
handy.
but I
Those
might
weren't a
no, I
Cricut.
might have been able to Cricut though.
Oh, I thought those were a
So-
Cricut.
All right, so I think yellow hat is probably our last
you.
question because now we're at 3:05. So
Hi. So I was thinking of cosplaying as a really tall character. So I was wondering how tough it is to get into stilts and stilt walking.
Okay, come talk to me after for sure, but like the short version of it is that if you look up any like circus school, most of them will have like something called a stilt class or a balance class. They'll start you on 1 foot or 1.5 foot stilts, which sounds like not a lot, but it's actually very scary the first time you're up there. You'll start against a wall and kind of just walk in place. When you're comfortable, you take one hand off the wall. Eventually, you're just walking around, and then, you can bump them up higher and higher. Once you've been doing it for a little while, it just feels like walking, but it does take a lot of getting used to. But I can give you certainly more details if you're interested after.
All right. Thank you so much.
all right, yeah. So if there's any other questions, we'll be outside, pictures, whatnot, in just a moment. So
And
you guys
we
have a
have
great
cards.
day. Enjoy the rest of your con.